All right, so how many of you guys on the channel are familiar with the old NR95 HVLP Sata jet? And this was one of the best guns when it came out years ago. And we still got them and we still use them. So my buddy let me borrow his because I wanted to show you guys this gun. This is a 1.5 and it sprays the base coat beautifully in the water base. So we're gonna spray a job today with this one, and I'm gonna show you that some of the older guns are still spraying very good with the newer paint. And this is a tribute to go back to the older painters out there that know these guns, and a lot of guys that are still using them, and they spray a phenomenal coat. So we got two jobs in the booth. We're gonna go ahead and shoot one of them with this, and we'll shoot one of them with a newer gun, and we'll check out the metallic once it's all said and done. So this is the one we nicknamed the Green Genie, and that's because of its color, obviously. So this gun here has still been shooting good since 1995. And this one here is the one we're gonna be shooting with at this PXR on this Caravan. And we also have a Tesla in here. We're gonna go ahead and shoot with a different gun. But this gun has been around a long time and it's still held up great. You guys can see it still looks like it's in really good condition. And my buddy Bob keeps it nice because he uses this all the time and he really likes this gun here. So the old guns are staying alive and they're lasting a long time when you get a quality gun. So this one here is definitely a well-made gun. And we're gonna show you how the older guns still work good with the water base. So let's go ahead. We've already sealed this job. That way we can get through this video a little bit quicker and get right into the base coat, and I'll show you how nice this gun sprays. You see the size of the pattern on that thing? That thing has like a 15-inch pattern for the base coat. So what a good gun for back in the day. Back in 1995, that thing was spraying solvent like you wouldn't believe. And they had water base back then as well. So people were using those guns for the water base. Let's go ahead and put another coat on, but you could see it's definitely putting down a nice coat and there's not a lot of overspray on it. So it puts it right on the panel and it puts down a very wet coat. And that 1.5 works good. To me, I've always liked the bigger heads for the water base because it puts down a bigger droplet, which eliminates a lot less model. Some of those guns that really break up the paint real fine actually have more model in them because they're putting it down and they're breaking it up so fine that it's kind of dancing in the air. So when you put down a pellet, like when you used to do an old solvent blend, you'd kind of speckle rock the base to get it to lay out nicer and you'd get a better look. So that's the kind of same effect that this gun here has. So we're gonna put down one more coat, drop it, and then I'll show it to you guys cleared up. right, so we got our 2 coats of base. We'll let it flash and then we'll hit it with our control coat. But you guys see it's definitely laying down a nice wet coat. And as I'm putting it on, you could really see the metallic is very even. It's not all blotchy. It doesn't look modelly. It's putting down a nice wet coat, and it's very, very consistent with that 1.5 in it. So I wanted to show you the box of other things that I'm going to be showing you guys on the channel here that my buddy Bob let me try out. So he let me try out those 2 Iwatas, the N-Tech and then the Evo for the clear. And now we're trying out the Dream Genie, but we're also going to be trying out some of the Accu sprays. And you guys know I'm a big fan of the 3M gun. These are the guns that the 3M Performance was based off of, and they stopped making the 3M Accu sprays. And we are going to be spraying the original version of the Accu Spray Isaac. And then we're going to show you guys that, and we're also going to show you the 3M version after 3M bought it from Accu Spray. So these to me were some of the best guns ever made for metallic. They're definitely a little bit slower, but they put down a coat that is, to me, not being able to be duplicated by any other gun out there. It's definitely a slower gun, but the way it atomizes and puts down the water base, it's got no blotch, and it's just phenomenal. So let's get back in there and show you this one here as we finish it up and we get into the clear. What do you think? I wanted to show you guys the color in the dark. That way you could see the metallic and you could see how uniform it was. So I tell you what, it really laid it down nice and even. And it had a bigger pellet when I did the control coat, but it's what makes it so uniform. To me, when you have that bigger pellet, you get more of a consistent, even control coat. That's why a lot of the newer companies want you to control coat it at a lower pressure, because it makes it have a bigger droplet. So these old school guns with the 1.5s and some of the older guns with the bigger heads on them put down a nice coat for this water base, because the water base lays down on its own. It's not really relying on the solvents like the old solvent was. So this one here stays wet longer, but it lays down flatter, and they really work well with some of the older guns. So if you see some of the older guns online on eBay, don't be scared to pick them up, because they really work well with some of these newer paints. So That's the NR95, and we went back old school, and we went back in time and tried out something old with some of the newer paints. So definitely a great gun, still spraying great. And many years ago it was made. So we're gonna be showing you some more older guns and show you where it all started from. So stay tuned, and we'll see you on the next one.